Welcome to the Lover List. Never be bored again with the Lover List's Reddit love stories. Like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to never miss an episode. You do owe people basic human decency. I've noticed a disappointing trend amongst people. I've even had someone I liked say it to me recently. It's the idea that we don't owe each other anything and therefore it's not a big deal to be cruel or dishonest. I fully agree that you don't owe anyone a relationship, or sex, or your time. But you do owe people basic human decency. This means you owe them honesty and respect. Unless of course this person seriously wronged you, but that's a different conversation. The dating scene gets me down because it just seems like everyone is out for themselves. It's all about what you can get from others, not much thought into what you can do for them. Not much consideration into how your actions may negatively affect someone else. I think people get hurt and turn bitter. They decide since they've been hurt that somehow justifies them doing the same to someone else. But we've all been hurt, we've all been let down. That doesn't excuse being unjustly cruel or cold to an innocent person. That's all. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Yep, I've always been saying this. A lot of people seem to lose basic decency as soon as they lose interest, then they do shit like ghosting, etc. Yeah, second they lose interest they just kinda give off the cold shoulder, ghost, become the rudest human being. Yeah, I find it kinda crazy how someone can go from someone who seems so caring, etc., to just being like every other asshole when they lose interest. I had one guy who would check how my migraines were every day, because I would get them frequently, and he never left me on red because he knew it would freak me out. Gotten past that now, but yeah. Then as soon as he lost interest after I rejected his first sexual advances, then I get left on read for a few days until I was ghosted. Honestly, one of the best experiences I've had after re-entering the dating scene was being kindly rejected after going out with someone twice. They told me that I was a nice person but not the right fit for them and wished me the best of luck. It really influenced how I've approached communication and being way more upfront with people and letting them down gently rather than trying to ghost them. Really wish more people were like that. Respect is given until lost. Trust is withheld until earned. Clown Shoe Ninja's mom. Great quote. I agree. This whole ghosting culture is very rude and I hate it. You do not get to spend weeks or even months talking to someone and then out of nowhere decide to stop talking to them and block them everywhere without telling them that you do not want to speak to them again. You can just send a text letting them know, hey, I no longer want to continue whatever kind of relationship we had been. You can block and delete if you need to. You don't even have to wait for them to respond. Going no contact the day of a date with no explanation is rude as hell. Making plans and not following up on them is also very disrespectful. It shows you don't respect anyone's time. Canceling last minute just because you don't feel like going is rude. For a generation that claims to care so much about each other's feelings, there is a lot of selfish me first ideas that have become normalized. The best part is they act like they're protecting your feelings by ghosting or not confronting you. Do they have any idea the effect that has on someone who developed abandonment issues from parents as a child? It's like that every single time all over again. You don't understand why, you think you did something horribly wrong, but in reality people are just insecure losers who value smoothness over clarity. It's even worse if you struggle socially. It destroys your confidence to put yourself out there. I don't even try anymore because it's not worth the inevitable manipulation, lying, cheating, or ghosting. Well said. You just never know what a person is dealing with behind closed doors. If someone has been kind to you, there is literally no reason for you to be anything but kind to them in return. I'd even go a step further than you and say if you've spent a significant amount of time talking to someone and making plans with them, you owe them both an apology and explanation if you for whatever reason change your mind. I've had someone I spent 6 months texting and making plans to meet recently just unfriend me and ghost out of nowhere. She only told me she changed her mind after I asked why she deleted me, and even then I didn't get an apology or any explanations. We had plans to meet my birthday weekend, so a bit inconsiderate. I don't think she cares at all, which only makes me feel worse. It's not that hard to be respectful. So many people are full of it. What's also ridiculous is the fact that some of these, in my case men, have this live with intention and mindfulness and be a good communicator all over their Instagram, and then they ghost or are rude or half-assing it. So fake and so weird. Super fake. What kills me is when they put on this phony progressive/woke persona lol. You don't even respect your friends, but you want people to believe you care about the less fortunate. OMG. It's the weirdest thing, a bit psychotic. Like I am at peace with myself, how to be a better man and communicator, how to be a better husband and partner. Okay, buddy, practice what we preach, shall we? That's why I say there are two types of respect. One is basic human decency until they lose that. The other is if they want to build a stronger connection with me. It's extremely rare to find someone with the first one because that typically leads to someone building a stronger connection, and people don't want that nowadays. I agree. I think we owe it to others as members of society. We should all make an effort to be a good human so we can have a good society, because that benefits everyone, including ourselves. It's like at least make an attempt to be civilized. It's very difficult for people to be respectful when they don't even respect themselves. So whenever I'm faced with a lack of decency, I just assume that this individual is deeply flawed and isn't worth getting slightly bothered at their behavior. I find I give others more respect, usually more than I give myself. I treat myself like shit and don't do much for myself, but if I see someone struggling with something, I feel inclined to help any way I can. I guess the truth is that you really don't owe anyone anything, but obviously the world would be a better place if we all at least had basic manners and respect for each other. You're not obligated to offer anyone an explanation as to why you did what you did or what you're choosing to do, but it's safe to assume the other party would at least appreciate the courtesy of an explanation. Basic human decency is unfortunately something that's a little scarce at times, but no one is owed anything. It also depends on how you were raised. A lot of people weren't taught by their parents/guardians the same general rules of courtesy as others, and we all grow up to believe in different methods of interaction and what's socially acceptable or not. Obviously, it just helps if we're all nice to each other. I try to be kind and understanding of everyone and their situations, as I would hope most people would do to me. Takes you back to the lesson that we're all taught at a young age: treat others how you want to be treated and learn to not always expect something in return. I agree with you, my buddy, and I always talk about this and him, and I agree the world is a selfish place now. No one helps others or even considers what a person is going through. It's not a bad thing to care for yourself. For your health and safety, you should come first, but just treating someone with some decency would be great, or even just being respectful to someone now goes a long way. I agree with you, Op, 100%. I think the main message is, don't act like you're owed anything. It's about managing expectations and keeping yourself sane. I agree on the basic human decency part, which would include civility, kindness, and tact. I 100% disagree on being owed respect that needs to be earned. As an example, you can treat an axe murderer with basic decency and tact, but you do not owe them respect just because they're alive. Respect is given, unless it's someone you know is bad, and the person has to do something to have it taken away. I view kindness, tact, and respect as all basically the same thing. Like I said in my post, if someone wrongs you or is an objectively abhorrent person, then obviously this doesn't apply to them. Yup. My pastor always says hurt people hurt other people. It's a principle of mine to always ascribe dignity to everyone. There's a reason to improve if you can see yourself as worthy of improvement. Your pastor is right. Hurt people do hurt people. I live by that. I say it all the time. Be careful though, because many people out there start from a place of emotional disturbance, so what was actually not a wrong is something they are forever in search of rectifying. So they may hurt people, but usually it's collateral damage and we are the collateral wounded. Honestly, it's sad that you had to add that comment in parentheses. You'd think people would have the common sense to make that distinction and be able to make exceptions for various scenarios, but people are stupid and don't know how to generalize for the sake of an argument. You'd think, right? But even with the parentheses, I still had someone try to argue that not everyone deserves respect because a mass murderer wouldn't deserve it, haha. I realize this is just a venting post, but people don't function the same way. I've been through a lot of trauma because of people ghosting, and I've somewhere given up on people because 50% of folks in the dating arena are this way. I don't think human decency and kindness matter in today's world. I try to be a decent human being, but I'm accepting that others don't conform to my ways. And it's not okay, but I'm tired of expecting anything more and getting disappointed. What you are describing is precisely why it should matter. While I don't mean this to imply weakness or anything, you are a victim of that perpetual cycle of trauma and harm caused by callous negligence. It's unfortunate because you have a very valid reason to be cynical to the point that you are, and yet it's tragic because you shouldn't have to be. Each of us definitely do have to deal with things in our own ways, and part of that is addressing those issues in regards to how we internalize and approach them. I do hope things get better for you, and for what it's worth, I'm sorry. It's a sad state though, don't you think? That human decency and kindness don't seem to matter. Maybe I am naive, I know I can't change the world overnight. But I'd like to believe by inspiring even just one or two people that they may go on to inspire others, and slowly over time we can make a difference. That's why I choose to stay kind regardless. I'm definitely not perfect, but I make an effort, and that's more than a lot of people can say. I agree, if you're going to hurt someone either way by rejecting them, just tell them so. There's no downside unless you are going to get hurt by them saying something rude back to you, which as an adult shouldn't happen. I'll take it a step further and say everyone has seen Seinfeld by this point. Can we put "it's not you it's me" on the same plane of disrespect? Everyone knows what it means. You may as well text them, "I don't respect you enough to formally reject you. Get ghosted, loser." One thing I will say, and this is coming from a male perspective, is that women kind of roll the dice with this one. While I don't condone or justify ghosting, I do tend to be a little more lenient on women doing it because I have met a number of women who have been unfortunately threatened or felt legitimately threatened enough after rejecting a potential partner that they have either called me or someone else close to them for aid. It's something that for a long time I was peripherally aware of, but as I grow older and more directly conscious of. This in no way is meant to diminish the message and valid grievance of anyone posting, just presenting another angle to a specific situation. However, in those cases, I suppose those threatening individuals have crossed the threshold of deserving basic human decency. So here I am talking full circle and should just discard the comment, but I'll post anyway for a gaffe. Funnily enough, I haven't seen Seinfeld, but 100% agree with the whole "it's not you it's me" thing, or "you're too good for me." I hate lame lines like that. Just say you're not interested/attracted, or you met someone else, which is usually the case, and keep it pushing. Yes, always be decent. If they are nasty to you, exiting without being nasty back is the most decent thing to do. Just unmatch and block. Otherwise, say, "Good luck with your search." This was the code written in dating sites years ago. That's the end for today, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to never miss an episode. Thanks for watching. To see more intriguing Reddit romance, dating, and relationship stories, make sure to like and subscribe.